Good morning. So, more big country boxing. So we're going to go ahead and show how the game would function if you were going to do it as I hint in the rules. So, there's data everywhere in the game. You just gotta, some of it's there for spice, but much of it is there to actually inform you of how the universe in this fictional circuit world of 1948 post-World War II America functions. So yesterday I made a boxer and I played his first year, and I used as a manager rules, and I had the options of what to do with him at the end of that first contract, and I chose to replace him, put him on a chart replacing a boxer, and I chose to take instead of making a boxer that's available, and I took the boxer that I made during that session, Joey the Beast McDougal, who I rolled up on the fly as a out-of-towner fight for my guy, and I rolled up, let's face it, I rolled up a potential champion, right? So I'm going to go ahead and take him after he waylaid my boxer, and I'm going to play with him. But that means I have a choice again. I have 4 more first fights. We're going to count the fight against my fighter as one. Now you have 4 more fights with him before I can decide whether I want to be the boxer or manage the boxer, and then of course what to do with him based on those situations. But what we're going to do is we're going to follow the sense of more going on in the boxing universe, not just focused on my fighter. So this is kind of more, the game is designed in a way to be a boxing universe, right? Okay. So what does that mean? Well, that means we know that I'm going to be on the fight. So the game still centers on my main protagonist, Joey the Beast McDougal. So I know I'm going to be one of the fight cards. So first we want to know, well, fight card, what's the fight card for this particular night? So because we know it's going to center on my protagonist, and my protagonist, Joey the Beast McDougal, is from Fort Jefferson, we look at the top here and it says Saturday nights are fight night. So in this town, in this little village, in this city, fight nights are Saturday nights. They're usually a 3-fight card, and this all happens at the field house. So I know we're going to have Fort Jefferson Saturday night, the field house, right? So that's where this fight night's going to occur. And I know that we're going to be one of the 4-round bouts because this is a starter fight. It's going to be a 4-round bout, so I'm going to assume my fight's probably going to be number 1. So we're going to say a 4-round battle between Joey, and your fighter always goes on the left side, Joey McDougal versus, and again it's a starter fight, and again I'm going to roll because I'm going to assume that I'm going to play Joey, which means I'm going to have no control over Joey's decisions as somebody else is managing McDougal. So we're going to roll to see who I fight. Again, this is not, where's the starters? I need the starters. Where are the starters? So again, we want the starters for, here we go, first 5. So this is, again, part of my first 5 fights. Number 5 is Ken Thomas. So it's Joey McDougal versus a local. Actually, I have to find out who's coming to town. Remember, these are the local guys, right? Oh yeah, so Ken Thomas, because he's my first 5. But normally you would roll to see where they're coming in from. Are they coming from Unionville, coming to fight you, or whatever? Okay, because I'm in Fort Jefferson, hometown. So McDougal versus a first 5. These guys aren't local. They're the first 5 every boxer fights. Ken Thomas. And Ken Thomas has no record. McDougal shows a record of 1-0 and 0 with a knockout, and of course we don't have a record yet for Ken Thomas. So that means the second fight is going to be among a Fort, and we know we're at Fort Jefferson. So remember, keep the universe, right? And we know that at Fort Jefferson, these are the hometown guys. This is the hometown circuit of Fort Jefferson. So we know that the other 2 fighters in today's fight card are going to be from Fort Jefferson. So let's go ahead and roll the first one. 2. So Rance McWorter, and this is a 8-round bout. Rance McWorter Oops, I should have used my new chart because, yeah, Ken Thomas is still right. Rance McWorter versus, and again, we need to look up, we need to have my new chart. So again, I've already started because I've played an entire year, and I've already had a boxer leave Fort Jefferson. My old boxer, Gabriel Johnson, now joins this local circuit, and the other boxer becomes a free agent, and he's actually on the independence chart, which you can use for wager fights or out-of-towner calls if you don't want to fight somebody on the charts. Okay, so we're starting to build an independence boxers roster as well. So we know that I just rolled 2. 2 is Rance McWorter. He's a 575. Right, and let's go ahead and do, well, I can put it here, 575. And McDougal, my boxer, by the way, is 1190. And Ken Thomas has not changed yet. Let's go back to the charts. Remember, I've got a new first 5. Ken Thomas is a 350. So we should waylay Ken Thomas. So let's find out who Rance McWorter is battling. Now, okay, this is where it gets interesting. You have to roll where the boxer from out of town is arriving from. So remember, these boxers go on the circuit, on tour, all over to fight the best fight they can get. This hometown group is going to be in the hometown locker room with the doctor and the cut man and they know each other and etc. Right? So imagine these are the local guys, right? So who's coming into town? 2. Someone from Unionville is coming to face Rance McWorter. So let's find Unionville here. And that should be on the back side of this one. I really should do all these on independent pages. There we go. So Unionville is right here. So who's coming in to fight from Unionville? 7. And I don't think I've redone Unionville yet. Let me double check. I think I have, because we actually had fighters change. Where's Unionville? Come on. Huh, I thought I had a new Unionville too. Oh yeah, Jesus. 7. Morten McCann, 515, is coming into town. So from Unionville, this will be Unionville's Morten McCann. And he does not have a record yet. 515, neither does Rance McWorter. So here's how I'm going to start building records and changing the ratings of all of these fighters. So when this guy wins or whatever, his record changes, I'm going to come in here and erase it and change it. I'm going to give him his record. So I'm going to start building, the ratings start fluctuating all over the universe, and we start building records, right? Which means guys can start changing, these guys can become free agents, they can move into the contenders, etc., etc. If I had rolled the Mecca, it would have been a contenders fight. A contender would have come to this town to face Rance McWorter. If McWorter beats him, McWorter would go onto the contenders chart, even though he's not, right? It would be a chance for him to earn a shot onto the contenders chart randomly, right? So all of a sudden you've got a guy in the top 10 that is pretty beatable, right? Okay, so again, I'm starting now to make new charts, 1 through 10, and I now change the data, right? So, all right, there's that. So that's our first 2 fights. The battle between my fighter, Joey McDougal, or me as this boxer, and Ken Thomas. This is in Fort Jefferson. Ken Thomas, of course, is a starter fight, so I'm not rolling who's coming to town. I'm taking him off the first 5. Rance McWorter is a local man, right? He's the local boxer circuit as these guys make deals and come around the country on the train or on the bus. Is Morten McCann coming to town. And this also gives locals who live here a chance to see boxers. You don't want to see the local guys fight every week. You want to see, you want to see these guys coming into town. That's how gambling is effective. It wouldn't be easy to gamble if the locals who go out every Saturday night to watch the fights, they know these 12 guys so well, there's no gambling in it, right? So some guy like McCann comes to town and they're going to bet money that their guy Rance McWorter can win this fight, or that they're going to bet against their guy. Oh, I know Rance. Rance goes down every time somebody touches him with a feather, that kind of thing. So now we got our main event fight, and our main event fight is going to be, again, a local guy versus, but main event is always a longer round. So 10-round bout. Now it's still going to roll. I'm still going to roll who this is for Fort Jefferson. So Fort Jefferson for the main event supplies number 7. Vince Speedy Holmes. Ooh, not great. So we're going to have Vince Holmes. He has not compiled a record yet. He is a 350. Or is that 550? Oh, I think it's 550. Let me see. I gotta start writing. Yeah, it is 550. Double check. Come on. Well, Middletown. You guys haven't seen any of the other cities yet. You haven't seen Middletown. There's Union Hall. 550. Man, I gotta get my handwriting going. Gee, Christmas, I thought that said 3. 550. 550. There we go. So that's a better fighter than I thought, Vince Holmes. Versus from where? 10 from Central City, the Mecca. Oh man. So this is one of the big boys. Central City is the highest rated group of boxers. It's the big city. It's known as the boxing Mecca of big country. So let's find the Mecca. There's Newburgh, Grand Bay, Central City right here. Wow. So who, now again, I don't have a new chart for these because I haven't even touched these guys. Yesterday I did not touch these guys. So Central City is the boxing Mecca. Matter of fact, if you're curious, a part of my rules is I define the universe. So on the back page, I actually give a write-up of all of these cities, right? So I'll read it to you. So we're in Jefferson. We're in Fort Jefferson. Is a military town. The primary population is military and works on the military base. The surrounding town is all support services for the military and their families. People come and go all the time as individuals are transferred in and out daily. This community trains and prepares for the defense of the country. They work, train, and then require rest and relaxation. But they rarely provide or produce great boxing talent. And my boxer yesterday was evidence of that. I happened to roll up this Joey McDougal, who happens to be from Fort Jefferson as well. So this may be the greatest boxer. This kid, depending on what happens with my career with this kid, he may end up being the best boxer to come out of Fort Jefferson in history, right? Now let's go ahead and look at the boxing Mecca, Central City. That's at the top here. Central City is the big city, the place where one goes to make it big or win a boxing title. It is, or win a boxing title fight. It is a crowded city, but booming and offering opportunities for everyone. A large population provides a wide range of individuals and talent. So that is the Mecca. That's the big city. Very simple description of that. And again, have I rolled that yet? I don't think I have rolled that yet. So where am I at here? So that's the back page. Where was I at? Central City. Here it is. So who is poor Vince Holmes going to face coming off the train here in Central City? He's going to face, so we count backward on this because, if you come to this chart, you have to beat guys in order, right? And this order can change based on what's happening, right, record-wise. So Vince Holmes is going to draw 4, so we're going to count back. Champion is 1, 2, 3, 4. Boo Williams comes to town. And Boo Williams is a 1287. Again, these are the top contenders. So Central City, their circuit are the top contenders, whoever those happen to be at the time. And of course, our current champion is Ron the Champ Conti. So Cyrus Johnson is from Springfield. So we've got some pretty tough fighters here on the Mecca. Okay, let's put that there. So now we have our fight card. There it is. This is it. So this is really what a play session should look like, right? Organizing my fighter, whether I'm the boxer or the manager of the boxer, right? And then I'm going to organize a fight card based on the city's number of fights. Some cities have 5 fights a night, some 4, some 3. It just depends on the city, right? And those guys never fight each other. So you're not going to see the you're not going to see two Fort Jefferson guys box each other. Now, when I did my career mode, I was rolling off of Fort Jefferson as manager. I was organizing those fights for my boxer at Fort Jefferson, or I would organize fights somewhere else. But I wanted to stay at home, which meant I had to fight my own guys. Ideally, right, as I was building my career, right, my reputation. But basically, past that, they're only going to fight those guys if they are in your way to get to the championship, so to speak, at this point. Okay. So there we have it. We have a 4-round battle between Joey McDougal and Ken Thomas. We have an 8-round Rance McWorter versus Unionville's Morten McCann. And we have local man Vince Holmes versus Central City. And right now it seems a little weird because everything's happening at Fort Jefferson. I happened to make a character from Fort Jefferson, and then I took over a character that happened to be from Fort Jefferson. So right now, the 2 videos that I've put up are featuring this local town of Fort Jefferson. So it's going to seem a little weird, but the reality is it's just the luck of the draw so far. So there's our fight card. And we're going to start with my fight. This will be technically this is fight number 2 for Joey the Beast McDougal from Fort Jefferson. And Joey the Beast, again, yesterday defeated with a KO my old fighter, Gabriel Johnson, who is now on the Jefferson list. So this is fight number 2 for McDougal. Okay, and remember, I'm no longer the manager. I have to roll every chart. So what kind of training camp did McDougal get before this fight? So this month, oh my God, they had a substantial camp. So a substantial camp, minus 75 points already. But again, at 1190, I can afford to give up 75 points, especially against a guy like Ken Thomas at 350. So if I was managing him, this is a perfect time to gamble points because Ken Thomas is bad, right? Okay, so there we go. I'm on the substantial camp chart, which means it's probably a full month of training, pretty hard training, with maybe my manager brought in more coaches, more trainers, right? So I want a 1, I want a 4, or I want the 6. The 6 is the best possible roll in the whole game. A 6 would be ideal. 3, which means it's going to be... So we spent 75 of my points for no change, right? No change. That hurts. Wow. But, and we are at home, so I get my hometown. I'm going to put Fort Jefferson plus 5. So I get my hometown at least for this fight. So that's minus 70 from my 1190. Minus 75 for the substantial camp. So I'm going to go into this fight at 115, already much lower than I'd like. However, I'm fortunately facing Ken Thomas. So again, it's going to be, let's get those numbers. So it's going to be 1115 McDougal versus 350 Ken Thomas. 1115 minus 350. I'm going to be at plus 7. So again, we have a fight number. Fight number right here is plus 765 on the boxing charts. And we're going to have a 4-round bout. There we go. That's pretty cool. So this is going to be fight night. Card number 1, June 2nd, 2024. Right, and this just goes in my universe files. This will be my data I keep, or you can type this stuff up, put it into into your database. All right, so here we go. Now it's time to actually do the do. Fight the fight. Where is my? Yeah, next time I think I will print this all individual, so then I can just put them in order. This flipping them over, just I get confused. It drives me nuts. All right, here we go. So we're fighting at plus 765 is a fight number. That puts us way up the charts, and my odds of knocking him out are, well, they're pretty damn good, right? So here we go. Ding, 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 Joey McDougal comes out. And I roll it, well, right out of the gate, it's going to be a really not a great roll for me, McDougal. Again, the 4 rounds, you got to get it done. 19 is actually a lost round. So Ken Thomas at home in front of cheering fans wins this 10-9. So the Beast McDougal already in a fight with Ken Thomas. 38. Uh-oh. Remember, it's going to come down to, we get a tie round. So McDougal is in one heck of a fight with the local guy, Ken Thomas. But McDougal, at any moment, can strike home here. 41 is going to be a win for my fighter. So we're getting close to either a draw or hopefully this number will win this fight for McDougal. 78 might do it. 78 is going to be a 10-7 victory. So it dominated the final round, pummeling him, outscoring him. A 10-7 tells us we probably knocked him down once or twice. That's what 10-7 round means. And we're going to win this fight because of that final burst. So again, as the corner man coaches him up and says to McDougal, you got to finish. You got to waylay this guy, man. I mean, you look at you. You're the future champ. 10-20-39 to 10-29-36. So 3-point difference. Son of a gun. And it turns out that 10-7 is literally the difference. It's going to be a point win, which is plus 15 for my fighter, minus 15 for Thomas. So my fighter is going to go up to 1130. He's going to go down to 335, right? And we're going to go to 2-0-0 with 1 KO. He's going to drop to 0-0-1. So remember, it's wins, draws, losses, right? There it is. So there's our first fight of my career. This is my second fight. Fight number 2 of my first 5, right? Before I really have to start rolling where I'm going, traveling. And use boxers that are more difficult. So it's going to be a win for McDougal, the Beast, and Ken Thomas is going to suffer a loss here, which will go into the record. So now I come over here to Fort Jefferson. Let's find... oh no, he's not. He's a starter. Let's find the starters. I got too many charts going on here. Where are my starters? The first 5. Ken Thomas is going to drop to 335, and he is now 0-0-1. This is record, and I've caught him up. This has been updated as of 6-2. Right? There we go. That's done. I'm going to need Fort Jefferson out to make adjustments to these fighters. All right, so fight number 2 on the fight card, right? This is going to be the 8 round. This is 575. McWorter versus Unionville's Morten McCann. And he is 515. So this ought to be a pretty interesting fight. 515. Again, this is an 8 rounder. There it is. And again, we don't have to do any of the camp stuff, and the hometown stuff is irrelevant to the non-player boxers. So these are universe fighters. All you got to do is grab them, match them up, and roll the chart. So McWorter, and you're always going to read the left guy. So if this is a plus or a minus matchup, you're going to read it like he's your boxer, right? So this is the left hand guy. He's either going to have a bonus, or he's either going to be favored or an underdog by so many points. This one is actually going to be McWorter. The local guy's got a plus 60 against McCann. Fight number plus 60. So the local Fort Jefferson guy and the Unionville guy, McWorter, the local kid, has got plus 60. So if you're gambling, the locals might know that there's a you know, it's a fairly close odds here, right? Ding, ding, ding. 81. Right out of the gate, McWorter's going to level him. Comes out with 81. He's going to score a 10-7 round. Wow, so McWorter comes out on fire. Drops him maybe once, maybe twice. And then 81 again. Oh my God, 10-7. So again, 81 are the rolls. I forgot to chart these darn rolls. Dang it. I got to remember to chart them. See, if I had a score chart, I would remember. I need to make a scorecard. Yeah, that's what I got to do. A scorecard, because then it would remind me what was the roll, what was this outcome, right? Here we go. 59. 59 is going to be 10-9 rounds. So McWorter is just dominating McCann. Round 4, 60. 60 is, again, 10-9. McWorter has yet to lose a round as he is just dominating. 53. Ah, they're going to be 10-10 on this one. Yep. So this is going to be an even round. 53. 10-10. Even round. Round number 8. 60. Again, going to be 10-9 as he's just controlling the fight. And 14, though. Oh, what a time to drop a low one. Oh, but all of a sudden, McCann gets a 10-8 round as he says, I got to fight back. His corner man says, listen, dude, you're down to 6 minutes. You got to get this done. Final round, corner man's jockeying McCann and telling McCann, there's only one way for you to win this. And that's going to be a knockout. 73, it ain't going to happen. 73 is a 10-8 round. Wow, so McWorter just dominated this fight. So it's going to be a win by points. Win, points, plus 15, minus 15. Plus 15, he's going to go up to 590, and McCann is going to drop to 500. And McWorter, by the way, came in here, I think his record was clean. McWorter is, yep, so McWorter is now going to be 1-0-0. And McCann, I don't believe, had a record yet. Nope, so he's going to go to 0-0 and a loss. How about them apples? And now we can update our charts. That's outstanding. I'm not going to tally the points. It's obvious, right? Let's see here. McWorter. So our local guy, McWorter, goes up to 590, which now makes it harder for my boxer if I stay at home and fight. And Rance goes to 1-0-0, and he does that against an out-of-towner, of course. Okay, and we have McCann drop to 500. And he is 0-0-1. Holy cow, beautiful. So that was fight 2 of the fight card for Big Country Boxing, as the local guys, Fort Jefferson guys here, and the guys coming on the circuit to fight. All right, we got one more fight, main event. Right, so 6-2, fight night. Fort Jefferson, main event. All right, and we know the main event is this is going to draw a big crowd. I mean, there's no doubt tonight is crowded because they, all week they've had posters up saying, "Come see BOUT Williams from Central City and Vince Holmes." Right, so this is one of the, in Fort Jefferson, this place would be packed. It would have been packed for hours watching these fights because they're getting a chance to see, without having to travel to Central City, a chance to see BOUT Williams, the number 4 contender. By the way, he's number 4 in the. No, he's not. He was counted down. So one. He's the number. Yeah, I think I did do that right. Yeah, number 4 contender because I count backward. 4 contender. So we're going to have our hometown Vince, our Vince at a 550. Vince Holmes, and you can bet the money being passed around here probably is 1287 locals. BOUT Williams locals are probably booing Boo, but putting their money quietly on BOUT Williams, right? And this is a 10-round main event. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Main events would be a bonus for both fighters. So they're both going to automatically get a plus 15 for a main event fight. We don't do the camp. We don't worry about hometown modifiers but they are going to get the main event. Anytime boxers in the universe fight in a main event fight, they're going to get a bonus to their ratings because their reputation is growing, even if they don't win these fights. And that the example of that is what I just said. BOUT Williams coming to town. So many more people, even out-of-towners who are going to follow BOUT Williams, are going to come from local other areas to watch BOUT Williams. Because again, they might not be able to see BOUT Williams unless they're traveling to you know, out of state or something, right? Okay, so here we go. Let's go ahead and get the fight number for this. 1287 minus 550. This is going to be a fight number of minus 737. And remember, minus for Vince, the left-handed guy is who we're looking at on the chart. Okay, so the left side is always your fighter, so it's always going to be who you're reading on the chart. So again, Boo Williams here is ultimately he's in the red, right? Which it's a lot more dangerous for Vince Holmes. Okay, all right, ding ding ding, main event, folks, and the bell sounds. Ken Holmes comes out to roar the crowd, and Boo Williams stalks across. And 33, Boo Williams at 737. 33 is going to win this round 10-7. So my God, that's a 33 anyway. That's how much better Boo is. So on a 33 roll, he kills Vince. He knocks him down probably twice in the first round. Round 2, but Vince gets coached up in his corner. 75. He's going to get this round, folks. 10-9. So the crowd roaring as Vince Holmes fights back. 40 on this one is going to be, I believe, another 10-7. Let's see. No, 10-8. But Boo wins this 10-8. As Vince Holmes is lost 2 out of the 10 rounds. Round number 4 is going to be 83. Oh my God, Vince Holmes is fighting for his career. It's one of those things where your manager says, hey, you're fighting the number 4 man, and you just... For this Vince Holmes guy, like a character in the movie, I feel good tonight. All I need is one good punch. This is my chance, right? So there's a character in the movie, the setup, which is what inspired me to make this universe, this game. And he has a shot at a contender, came into town. And he says, and he's telling everybody in the locker room, this is my chance. I feel really good. If I can beat this guy, I'm going to get to move on to whatever city. So this is exactly what Vince Holmes is seeing this as his opportunity to prove himself. 83. 83 is a 10-9 victory. So it's tied now, 2 rounds to 2. Right? But we go by points at the end. We don't count rounds, we count points. 22 though, and this is where, it's a TKO. So just like that, so he's going to basically pummel him bad enough, do cuts, swelling, or maybe drops him 3 or 4 times. Guy can't. And it's a TKO, right? So Boo's going to win this on TKO. That's going to be plus 30, minus 30. So Vince actually is going to be minus 15 with that boost. Oh, and I forgot to write the rolls down again. I get so into the game. So that would be 520, 535. So he drops to 535, but he also goes 0, 0, and 1. Boo is going to go up 45. 1287 plus 45. 1287 plus 45. He's up to 1332. He is 1-0-1 with a knockout. Remember, I don't have any other records for him, so I'm compiling records for these guys, even though they're top-ranked fighters. You can assume that they have more fights, obviously. There you go. But look at this. What's important about this now is in Central on the rankings. So now I want to go back to Central City to the top-ranked fighters, the mecca of boxing. 1332. So Boo Williams is 1287. 1332 is going to actually, okay, so he's not going to move up to number. So Boo Williams is going to win this fight and climb to 1332, but it's still going to put him behind the Hand of God, Cyrus Johnson, and of course the champion stays the champion until he's defeated. But Sean, the Hand of God, Pate is still ahead of him, and Cyrus Johnson is the top contender, is 1335. So this might have pushed him up, right? So pretty cool. Remember, this is their ranking. This is not necessarily tied to their rating, but if that 1332 climbs above Sean the Hand of God, when I redo this chart, because I'll have to do this chart by hand now, I would move Bill Williams up. But he really beat a nobody. So I can see, if he had knocked this guy out, by the way, 20 more points, he would actually have moved above, he would have become the number 3 man. So Boo would have moved above Sean the Hand of God in my rankings, right? And there you have it. So that's how your universe continues to function. Is you're supposed to do a fight card And this is your chance to say, hey, I want lightweights and heavyweights. So already I began to make lightweights. So last night before bed, I sat down and I said, I'm going to have 25. I'm going to have a top 25 lightweights. I haven't named them yet. And I started rolling up their ratings. So I'm going to end up with 25 lightweights that I can draw from for these fight cards. So I can have lightweights, middleweights. Because right now, this universe is assuming these are middleweights, right? Because middleweights is my favorite weight class. I'm a huge fan of the middleweights in history. So I set my game up to assume middleweights. However, you could make this heavyweights or bantams. It's entirely up to you. But I'm going to make, I have to find 25 names. So I'm going to have to flip open a phone book and populate these lightweights with names. And then I've started to roll up the 25 boxers. And then that's how I'll populate my fight cards with a lightweight fight, middleweight fight, and heavyweight fight. Now the lightweight fight could be at the main event, etc. Generally, the main event is going to center on your fighter. When you roll a main event on the charts, that would be your fighter. He earns the main event, right? But this one was a starter fight, can't be the main event. And there you go, folks. That is the logistics of how I track it, which is a mess, I know. But you could have a notebook, you know, with all of this in it. And you can erase it and change it. Or again, most people, I think, other than myself, use Excel. I think most of my tabletop gamer peers out there, all of you use, I'm sure, a pad or Excel or something. It seems I'm the odd guy out. I don't use any helpers. But this is the perfect game to use an Excel spreadsheet for. All your boxers, their rankings, their ratings. Matter of fact, I've enjoyed playtesting and getting this finished this last 2 weeks so much that I might have to learn Excel. I don't use Excel, but this is something in which that would be hugely beneficial for me to use Excel for all this data. And then I can also have more and more boxers, more and more weight classes, etc. There you have it, though, folks. That is a complete fight card for the fight night. This would be Saturday, by the way. This was June. Yeah, there it is. June 2nd, 2024. Fight night, Saturday night. This was the main event. And we're starting to compile records. We have seen now what the circuit really looks like. Your hometown boxers are on the left, wherever you're fighting. And what matters with that is, let's say my character travels to Central City. I would be one of the fights on that fight card, and I'm on the left side because it's my fighter, but all the other boxers would be Central City on that fight card, and then I'm rolling who's coming into town to fight those Central City ranked fighters, right? They will fight each other only when they're they're lining themselves for a title. So I could have a main event of one of these that is two Central City ranked fighters. Like for instance, now what I would probably do on purpose is I would make my next fight card main event would be Boo Williams versus Sean the Hand of God Pate in trying to change his position on the board so he can get a shot at the title, right? And then I can have title fights too. So the champion might be different by the time my guy gets there, if my guy can get there. So anyway, thank you for watching. Goodbye.